Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Dirty Air Podcast. Sorry for the late start tonight. About an hour behind, but we had some good news from our race tonight. Ran really good. And before we get started into the important sports news week here, we got my co-host here, Brian Johnson, of course, as always. But first, I want to
Sup?
my bad, Brian, and introduce our special guest here tonight, Bob Skinner.
What's going on, fellas?
Oh, good man. Pretty happy. We just got done with our road to pro race, and Brian did an amazing job driving, and I think I did a
Wore
good
out.
job keeping him calm. And before we get started, just see really, Bob, like, what's your background? I know we just let everybody know you sim race and saying stuff like that.
Yeah, exactly. Last couple years, I mean, that's how we got together. I race, and that's really changed a lot. It's being able to feel what it's like to be a NASCAR driver. I think it's amazing how we spend the whole week at that track. It's elevated from. I'm a gamer at heart. That's what I've been doing forever, gaming, and it led to racing, and here we are today.
Yeah, for sure, and that's definitely what I think is led us all down this path. I know that's I had my
hmm
NASCAR passion, of course, but the gaming definitely helped bring I think a lot of the community together, especially in iRacing. I know me and Bob play all types of games together, all types of battle royales, Destiny, and play a lot of stuff. Bob's definitely one of my good video game buddies, and yeah, that's always a good bond, I'd say, between people. And but here our topic this week. Well, went to Auto Club, NASCAR. Well, actually, first we'll get this out the way. I decided, we just ran a road to pro race, everybody. So it looks like every other Tuesday we are going to be starting these at 11 o'clock most of the time. It depends on cautions. We did finish up around, I'd say 9:40 or 10:40 there. So a little bit of time to set up and stuff after that because it's a little bit of a long race. Brian has to go get himself a drink as he's the driver and get himself
And
cooled down.
let all the blood rush back to my limbs.
Yeah, exactly. And so every other Tuesday we will be going live at 11. I'll make sure to change that on our banner up here, of course, and make sure everybody knows. So we'll make sure that's the set time now for every other Tuesday is 11 p.m. Eastern, and then the next Tuesday we don't have a race, so we will be live at 10 p.m. But just really want to start off here. What's your thoughts, Brian, from that road pro race tonight?
Oh man, it is so cutthroat. Um, you gotta be so aggressive and really defensive. Pretty much, if you have a position, you gotta race for it like your life depends on it. Uh, which I guess if you really are trying really hard to get the peak and you think you could do really well up there, then I mean, it possibly could, change your life. I mean, iRacing in general has changed all of our lives to some extent.
Definitely.
Um, but it was really good. I definitely, obviously, it's open setup, and I like the process of that. At least our process of it. It probably varies driver to driver and team to team, but it was really good. I think iRacing has a pretty good package there at Texas. I was watching some Texas races from last year, and it's pretty accurate. The
Yeah.
truck feels good, and yeah, we had a good finish. I think we qualified eighth and finished third, so
Yeah.
really decent. And I think we're 51st in points right now. We gotta finish in the top 20 to get up to the pro level. Um, so we'll see. I think what? How many weeks is this thing? 10 weeks,
I believe we have
12 weeks,
13.
13 weeks. So we got
Um,
12 more races and 24 more weeks. So
yeah, and we do have a few drop weeks. I think there's two drop weeks,
oh,
so that does take into
Nice.
account, But really, I just gotta say from my side is, I'm being the crew chief, the setup builder, pretty much. I don't like to say that, but the brains, I guess you could say, of the operation, and I'm laying it in Brian's hands
hey,
to
you
be the
got more brains
brawn,
than I do.
and I gotta really congratulate him on a really well driven race. I mean, you know, I came into this race tonight expecting us, Brian, to really be about. I don't know if we got a top 20, I was gonna be happy. Now we were in six split. There was I think 13 splits tonight, so
Phew.
a lot of people competing in this course.
Yeah, last I
Um,
checked, or last I saw before we went into the race, I think there was like 540 some people registered for it. So a ton of people.
yeah, and you know the big thing is we starting with a little bit lower I rating. Brian just cracked 4,000 on iRacing right now, so we're moving
I
on up.
forgot to farm it.
Yeah,
Forgot to farm iRating.
we've been gaining. I think we started when we started this process because this is a really the biggest thing I'm proud of, Brian, with us is this is a first time thing.
Yeah.
I'm learning, you're learning. I mean, you're learning, but you're learning how to drive my setups and what I got to figure out what you want. I got to figure out how to build them first of all and get them right. And it's it's really fun. I'm enjoying it a lot, and we should go up more splits here as some people pull out. Of course, we gain I rating. I definitely think we'll be gaining the way we ran tonight. I'm really happy. Really, only four trucks I'd say in our class, and we were really close with them. It was really a four truck battle, and really happy that we were one of those four trucks. So
Yeah.
yeah, just on to to NASCAR stuff. But I just want to congratulate Brian again on his great race tonight because man,
Well, I want to congratulate you on a damn good truck.
yeah, that's the best. It's actually more bit like I'm a big time driver too. I love driving in this iRace and stuff, and I'd say I'm pretty good at it. I really feel like I am pretty good at it, and I almost get more joy out of doing what I did tonight because just it feels like it's your kid doing good or something. I guess when you build that setup, it's like your baby. And,
Papa Zach.
yeah, and when I see it do good, and it's just like it's fulfilling. It's weird, and like I told Brian before race, I'm probably more nervous than you, man, because I don't know what's gonna go hell in here, but I'm ecstatic. This podcast is gonna be good because I'm very happy. Let's just say that. So yeah, before we keep rambling on about that, we'll get into NASCAR now since that's usually our big topic here, and we are at Auto Club Speedway this weekend, and we did see history, didn't we?
We sure did.
And Kyle Busch brought home that 200th win we were talking about on our
Oh, you said
podcast.
Kyle Busch.
What'd I say?
You said Kyle Busch.
Oh
I'm
no!
gonna play a drinking game.
Oh,
Time we say
every
Kyle
time we
Busch.
say Kyle Busch on this podcast,
Yep.
you gotta take a drink.
Gotta take it. Yep.
You're gonna be drunk after this one, or if you want to go back after
Yep.
the last one too. We were kind of Kyle Busch podcast last week as we talked about what it would mean.
Yeah, so we apologize because this one's pretty much going to be a Kyle Busch show too. Because
Yeah.
man, the guy is incredible.
Yeah, that's for sure. And 200 wins. It's just hard to take in, and I really want to get your guys' opinion. Like some people are knocking it. I can see where they knock it because whatever, he won a lot of those races in Xfinity and in truck. He's a 53-time Cup winner now, but it still takes talent. I still think to beat those guys. I mean, you see Cole Custer actually. Let me actually get this off my chest. I'm happy that Cole Custer beat him in the Xfinity race because I wanted to see him win that 200th in a Cup race, and he did it. And so really, we'll go to Bob first, I guess. What you think on 200 wins for Kyle Busch, Bob? I mean, are you impressed by that, or do you think it's a little bit over, being over celebrated? I guess you could say.
Yeah, I guess I'm kind of down the middle on it. Of course, it's an impressive number, and it's a feat that not many could accomplish. Does it stack up to Richard Petty? I mean, that's like saying, LeBron James is better than Kobe Bryant's better than Michael Jordan. It's different eras. It's the same thing, but it's hard to compare. I'm a Kyle Busch hater in a way. I don't care for him so much. I like to see him wreck. But I mean, that's the cool thing about racing. There's heroes and there's villains, and it just depends on what side of the fence you're on with them. So congrats to him. It's a huge accomplishment. But he's still got a long way to go. So that number's kind of low still.
Yeah.
I still think he could add quite a bit to it.
Yeah, definitely. So, what do you think, Brian, on 200? Are you surprised?
Uh, I mean, if you look at Kyle Bush's days back at Hendrick, hell yeah, I'm surprised. But just the amount that he's grown over the past 10 years has been amazing. And his success in the trucks and the Xfinity series has been just completely dominant. And even in the Cup series now, I mean, pretty much if you bet on Kyle Busch to win, chances are you're going to make some money. Um, as far as does his 200 wins compare to Richard Petty's 200 wins, I'm kind of on the I'm kind of like Bob. I'm on the fence because there's two ways, you could look at it. You could be like, well, different eras, and like Bobby said, you can't compare Michael Jordan to LeBron James. It is completely different eras. Um, but I did find this article from NASCAR, and pretty much, I guess it's some of their riders. They asked to give their opinion on it, and this one guy,
Jonathan
he
Merritt.
yeah, he decided he's kind of all for comparing it apples to apples. And the reason he does do this is because he says in 1964 there were 62 races on the Cup Series schedule. Petty raced in 61 of those. Um, Kyle Busch only has the opportunity to race in 36 in the Cup Series. So if you look at, he's racing all three series, so that almost equates to about the same amount of races that Richard Petty did in 1964. Maybe, well, no, it's probably pretty damn close.
Yeah,
Um,
I saw something about that.
and then the other thing he says is that, Richard Petty didn't always race his toughest competitors. Back in the day, sometimes his toughest competitors didn't show up to the race. And so that kind of equates to, like Joey Logano or Brad Keselowski, Jimmy Johnson, Chase Elliott not racing in the trucks or Xfinity. So, coming from that perspective, I think it actually is fairly comparable. Um, but even after reading that, I'm still kind of on the fence because there's just two ways to look at it, and there are always and forever going to be two ways to look at it, and it's going to be a debate until the end of time.
Yeah, I like to say, really, I look at the way I look at it is I consider it two different accomplishments. And also, thanks to everybody on the chat. I see Robert and Tina are out there. And then so Robert says the 200 he says doesn't count, LOL, and he said he will never beat the king.
He cheated.
Hey, that's you're every right to your opinion there. And the way I look at it is just two different accomplishments. Richard Petty, all those 200 wins were in the Cup Series. Like you added, Brian, they race more races. Um, it's kind of like, some sports they say there's in the modern era because if you look at basketball records, you know, before Michael Jordan in the modern era, there was guys that you don't really hear about as much considered, and they're I would say just as good as Michael Jordan, but the modern era kind of brings in like a essence to the records. And I mean, if you look at it NASCAR wise, the modern era record for wins is Jeff Gordon at 93. So Kyle Busch at 53 now is 40 behind that. That's impressive in itself right there. First of all, if this is probably the toughest time to win in the sport, in my opinion. You don't see guys like back in the 90s, you could see Jeff Gordon rack off 13 wins. You ain't gonna see that nowadays. If you get 8, I would say that's pretty similar to you know a Jeff Gordon type era, I guess you could say. But I think the King won 27 one year. I believe that's his record.
God.
And I mean, if you think about it like that, it's really interesting. How many does Jimmy Johnson have, Robert? Robert just asked in chat. I believe Jimmy Johnson has like 84 or 85.
80.
He's the
Yeah.
closest to Jeff Gordon. Actually, I don't know if he's passed Darrell Waltrip yet. He's close. He did pass Earnhardt because Earnhardt was 83, I believe, right? Or 82.
Uh,
I'm getting these
80.
numbers jumbled.
I don't know. I'm about to look
Yeah,
up the
Brian's
list
gonna
here.
look it up real quick. But like I said, I don't really want to compare apples to apples because it's two different feats at the same time, and I think they both need to be praised in their own right because Kyle Busch is the dude. You can't deny the talent there. I mean, the dude drives the wheels off everything you put him in, and I just want to know if he's gonna get 300. Like there is a possibility for Kyle Busch to win 300 races. Let's wrap
Yeah,
our
he's
heads
only
around that.
33.
Exactly, he is in the prime of his career. Prime, 33 years old. I think he's got. I don't know if he'll get 93 wins. That's pushing a lot. That's 40 more wins in his career in the Cup Series side. To get to Jeff Gordon's number, that's going to be tough in this day and era. But anybody can do it. I think it's either him or Jimmy Johnson because Jimmy Johnson's close right now. I don't really see any other driver in the NASCAR scene that could possibly get to that modern era 93. But I think, like I said, I think we just need to take it as two great accomplishments. And I was once a Kyle Busch hater, definitely, and I've definitely gone to the more light side on him because I don't know, I just he grows on you, I guess. And again, I say that this week, lol. We had a big joke last week about him growing, but yeah, it's just one of the things. Is like you kind of get to know the person. I kind of understand Kyle Busch now. He just hates, he hates to lose. And there's people like that in all types of sports. I mean, Michael Jordan, if you think about it, he hated to lose more than he probably liked to win. That's how you had to be a killer and go out there and get championships and win like that. So, when people start, knocking Kyle Busch for the Xfinity wins, in the truck wins, you know, I, you know, yeah, we can compare it to the I guess you could say Mark Martin, but he did race about 15 times a year, and Kyle Busch did have some seasons where him and Carl Edwards were racing, the full 32 races and winning the championship. So they did, those years really stink up the field, I would say. But I think NASCAR's done a good job of, not letting them race in the playoffs, stuff like that. I don't see the problem with it. They bring the sponsorship money. They're the reason why kids can race in those cars. And I don't know. Just what do y'all think about him? Do you think he stinks up the show in Xfinity and makes it a bad race, or do you think, like I don't know? What do y'all think about him racing at the lower levels?
I'm interested to see what Bobby says about it.
Yeah,
I'm glad NASCAR limits it. Honestly, I mean, I'd hate to see it like it was where they were running every weekend and just running away with the championship. It's nice to see the younger guys getting a chance at the spotlight because once they climb that ladder to the next series, the competition cranks up to 11.
yep,
So it's good to see the young guys get their time, and I appreciate that NASCAR has it set up the way it is. I think it's got a good balance the way it is now.
yeah. That's the way I look at it too, Bob. And these kids need to understand the competition before they get there to the Cup Series. I mean, if you're going to get to the Cup Series, you need to know that this stuff is tough. These drivers are good, and I think Kyle Busch goes down and sets that benchmark. And Cole Custer winning this week at Auto Club, he probably was ecstatic. And I know Tyler Reddick before the race said, "There's nothing more I want to do than make Kyle Busch wait another race before he gets to 200." And I think that gives him motivation. And
Hey,
just
and they did it too.
yeah,
He didn't get it
exactly.
until he had to get it on Sunday.
Yeah, and he damn
He,
dominated
oh
that
my God.
race.
He
And
won the first stage, he won the second stage,
yeah,
and then he got speeding on pit road,
still
and then
came
he
back.
drove through the field like a madman and won the race.
He did get a little lucky with that caution. That helped him.
That's true.
But I still think he would have won the race, man. That car,
It's quick.
that 18, man, was on rails. And I mean, my question to you guys now is he the favorite this year? Like, I don't think Kyle Busch, like, so far these first 4 races in, 5 races in,
I think
it's
5.
yeah, I believe 5. Y- y'all think he's the favorite, or is someone else the favorite? Like, because the Penske boys have looked good too. Harvick hadn't looked that great, but I mean, what do y'all think the favorite was?
Well, I think Kyle Busch is always a favorite. It's just a matter of whether he can keep his head in it and be
Yeah,
consistent like he is. I mean, he's the only Cup driver to have 2 wins so far. I mean, we are only 5 races into it, but I mean, to win 2 out of the first 5, I mean, that in itself is pretty good
probably
when
should
you're
have won Las
talking.
Vegas.
Yeah, well, it's like he said, if there was 2 races he lost, if he would have won them. He would have won like 5 NASCAR races in a row or something. And that's just ridiculous. Like the guy is just good.
Yeah.
He's actually, if he wins one more race, he will tie Lee Petty for all-time wins
Wow.
or for all-time Cup wins.
Yeah. It's you know, I have him as my favorite. I think he's the guy to beat. Like you said, he's always a favorite, but I think he is the favorite. Like especially so far, I haven't seen. Like Robert's in the chat right now. He says he thinks it's him and the Fords. I would put. I would definitely put the Penske guys up there with him. Keselowski, I think a little bit more. I believe in Keselowski a little more than I do Logano and Blaney, but it's interesting. I definitely think Kyle Busch is. I mean, he's dominating his teammates. I can tell you that much. So, I mean, Martin Truex has looked good. The 19, he has a few times, but they're having some issues. Just not having the speed on takeoffs. I've noticed taking off at the beginning of the run. But Kyle Busch has had everything. I mean, who do you think's the favorite, Bob?
I mean, you have to say Kyle Busch is the favorite. I mean, he's already proved it with the numbers. What I'm interested to see is who's going to be that number 2 to rival him. Is it going to be Harvick? Is it going to be Martin Truex? Is it going to be someone else? Like I'd really like to see Ryan Blaney do good.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I'm really pushing for him. I think he's got the right equipment. So it'd be real interesting to see him get in the mix. Even Chase Elliott, I'd like to see somebody in a Chevy get up there.
Yeah,
They got to get it
Gosh, yes.
together.
definitely.
So
we got to question this too because last year we had the big three. Martin Truex Jr., Brad Keselowski, or no, whoa, Martin Truex Jr., Kyle Busch, and Kevin Harvick. I think we've seen the speed out of all of them so far, but Kevin Harvick is the one I'm more concerned about, is because
Kind of struggling.
yeah,
I don't think his package is what he.
I agree
what-
there,
what-
Bob.
Mhm.
I
I
think this
think the
package doesn't
has
suit
been
him.
messed up.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that, and
Tracks he's dominated at, he just hasn't
yeah,
had anything for him.
like
If NASCAR don't change it, it'll put him in retirement.
well, I mean, they put Jeff Gordon in retirement with that, so
Yep.
it's really a thing where like Kevin Harvick he's looked good in the Atlanta race. He led some laps. Him and Larson battling it up, but at the same time, they fell off at the end of the race. Same thing. He didn't look good at Phoenix. He ran really mid top 10 all week with Phoenix, which that's his stomping ground. We know that. And in at Las Vegas, he did dominate the first stage, but after that, he was kind of really a top 5 car, but nothing else other than that. So I don't know. It's hard to say right now. The seasons go through so much change. We haven't seen Chevrolet do well, other than Kurt Busch. Kurt Busch, actually, we do have to send him a shout out, in my opinion.
Yeah.
3 top 5s. Only Chevrolet to break top 5 this year. He's got 3.
Wow.
So that switch over from that 41, everybody was like, "Wow, you're gonna leave Stuart Haas," but he's made that one car look good, and
That just shows you
impressive.
how good of a driver he is.
Yeah.
Because what did Jamie McMurray do in that thing?
He got torched by Kyle Larson, which
Mm-hmm.
Kyle Larson's another person I think this package just doesn't fit. Like, I don't know. Same thing. Jimmy Johnson. I don't think his package fits Jimmy Johnson. There's a few drivers it just doesn't fit, and I think it does come down a lot to the car too. That helps, but I think some drivers just don't fit this. I mean, we've seen Stenhouse do good. It's more of a plate, I'd say, racing type package. Yeah. I called that wreck, didn't I? The other when he stayed out.
You did?
We were watching Auto Club this past weekend. I was like, well, Stenhouse is gonna wreck. He stayed out, and bam,
About 3 laps later.
spun it. Yep. And it's definitely different this year. I'm still not a fan of the package. I don't think it's like NASCAR's wanted to produce something different than what I think it is, but I think it's better than pack racing at least. But I don't know. It's hard. NASCAR does one thing and they get yelled at for that, and then they
It's
do another
true.
thing, they get
We
yelled
do
at for that.
criticize them a lot.
Yeah, no. I mean, any way they put it, they're gonna get criticized.
But
But
I
we're
will
trying.
say NASCAR has a better package than iRacing does.
Well, I think we can talk about that. But The big
And
thing,
iRacing thinks they made a better package.
well, thing with the iRacing. So if anybody out there didn't know about this, we can get into iRacing because we pretty much, knocked down Auto Club. You know, Kyle Busch 200 wins.
Yeah,
We
that's
talked
pretty
about
much
that.
there's all to talk about. The
Yeah,
rest of the race was
kind of
kind
boring.
of just a normal
Auto
race.
Club just spreads out. I mean, that's the nature of the track. But we had an Auto Club League race this past
and,
weekend, and I can
and
tell
it
you,
was
it
way
did not
different.
look different. It did not look like that package. But
Not at all.
the big thing, I think the package in iRacing is not bad because we've got this new package. By the way, if anybody out there has not done any iRacing, they don't do it. We have the same package as NASCAR right now. Aero ducts, all that, 550 horsepower, taper spacer, the bigger spoilers, more downforce, which they've introduced to us now. And
Gonna make me cry.
coming from somebody like me, I don't like that, but I'm trying to be optimistic, and I think the package is good because we have a stage racing in our league racing out Racing Freaks. You want to join a league? Go check out Racing Freaks. Definitely. Well, we race on Fridays and Saturday nights. So if you race iRacing oval stuff, come join us. But get back to the story is, we had a stage and it was at lap 20, and we went green all the way to there, and then all hell broke loose. And
So frustrating.
I really think the problem with the package is right now is I think the suck up is a little too much. I think everything else is fine, but I think the runs you get on people are ridiculous. I think Auto Club played into that also because you're looking at a 2 mile track, long wide straightaways, flat corners. I mean, I never got up front, so I never got the experience like maybe something like you guys did. I know you guys were more farther up there and kind of got to see really what happens up there. But I never really did. So if y'all guys can kind of explain what y'all thought, I mean, maybe you can give a better opinion.
But I'll just say something real quick here before Bobby goes. I mean, it was kind of similar to Daytona, where it was like you're just being bombarded by the field kind of the whole time when you're up front. It really wasn't fun. It was not fun at all.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, go
I
ahead,
got to
Bob.
tell you though, I was looking forward to it, and I had this inkling that it might help, it might favor me and my skill set. Being more of a plate racer. And you're right, the runs were ridiculous, and being the leader was tough because you knew you couldn't really defend
Yeah.
unless you got someone to push you. I found that out. If you would get someone to go with you and push, you could stall the run and outrun them, even on the high side, and keep the momentum going. And it's just like play racing. It's all about momentum, being in that line that's moving forward. And somehow I made it work for it. I felt like you guys do every week.
Yeah.
I had my little section of the race. And I'll tell you, to sum up my race, I think I started 11th or 12th, and I wrecked out and I finished 17th. And you think I'd be totally bummed about that. But I had a great week because I got to lead. I defended the lead on 3 or 4 restarts. I made a bad call at the end, and I'm going to learn from this. I still kick myself about that bad call. I should not have pitted. I should have just went with it because there for a while, everybody was ducking into pit road. And when I did, I took 2, and I kept making 2 work. I kept switching the rights. But there at the end, I just stayed out. Everybody pitted behind me at least once or twice. And I kept holding the lead until I got door slammed and we messed the left front up. I should have stayed out, but I had a good race. I like the package, but I think it favors my skill set and what I like to do.
Yeah.
So
I just to echo that, I bashed it pretty hard, I'd say. Uh, I wasn't having fun. I'm used to normal. The really big thing about it is that it feels gimmicky to me. Um, but I really think that's mostly due down to the runs. Like it you get such a big run off the draft, and we seen that in the Auto Club race. You could definitely draft up the people, but it's just a little too much in my opinion. If they brought that back, a little bit, because I don't know. It was frustrating. It was a frustrating race for me. So I don't think I have a great opinion on it personally. I think we're going to have to see how it goes to the next racetrack. I think this track had something to do with it too. I mean, do y'all think it kind of was track based? Think we could see something different in Texas in 2 weeks?
Yeah,
I think
I
Texas will be different.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a little different. And while me personally, I was very frustrated. I do like to see like guys like you, Bob, and
Yeah,
some of the other guys that with the old package weren't upfront a whole lot, but now they are, and it's really cool to see that, and I like it because now like anybody, it's anybody's shot, which
uh,
is a good thing about it.
yeah.
I just don't like how the car drives. I need about 200 more horsepower, and I think I'd be happy.
Well, pardon my French, but I felt like a dick, after the race because I was just complaining about it and complaining about it during the race, like going back and looking at it. But and especially for like someone like Bob, you're running great, so I don't want to bash it because I love seeing you run good, especially, and love seeing like guys having a chance because that doesn't bother me. I don't know. It was just such a when I did get to like I think about 12th in that race, I did end up finishing 4th, so I can't be too mad about that.
Well,
Just because I finally uh you know threw all caution to win and just went and pretty much when I got to like 12th at one part of the race and I got wrecked that part, it was the most frustrating part for me, man. Was I was just stuck. I couldn't go nowhere. I needed like 5, 6 more laps for to get a little spread out. And I think that's my thing. I think once the package gets 10 laps, 15 laps under us, I think it's actually really good because you can make moves. You can like run someone down, change a lineup, make a run on them here, and I think that's the amazing part. I had a blast at some of the races I've done in this package, so that's why I don't want to bash it too hard. But I really think this track plays into it. The super long straightaways, first of all, so you have a ton of time to draft up to the guy in front of you. I think Texas next week, at least from what I've seen, I watch a lot of. If anybody out there, go check out Benjamin Nelson. His YouTube channel is in there to it. He's a peak driver and one of our very good friends. He streams most of his like league races he does and stuff like that, and he streams at SRA. And I watched him and Jake Nichols battle, man, for like 20 laps. One of the best battles I've seen on iRacing, side by side, changing lanes, crossing each other over and stuff. And man, they showed like the bright side of this package really, and it didn't seem like it was a plate race or a pack race at Texas. So I'm excited. I when I watched that I was like, oh, now I have something to look forward to because I like plate racing. Daytona and Talladega are fun when they come, but I want to keep them those as special tracks. I don't want every week to be you know down to what line I pick and what lane I pick. Does this lane push better? Does this guy, that is a fun part of racing, but I would like to see a little bit of, you know, I guess you could not say skill, but a little bit of variance in driving come in so we could see those. I don't know. I really think it has a chance to be good. We'll just have to see. I think we're
I
pretty much at a point where we just got to wait and see.
think my main problem with it is that I don't like to be dependent on other people for how fast my car is.
Yeah. And I mean, well, another thing is like, so go to Texas, it's a little bit different. The dog, like you got a cookie cutter and you got a triable. It at Auto Club is pretty much a just. I think Auto Club in Michigan are going to be the two places that pack race, and I mean if it's just those two, I'm happy. Whatever, that's cool. We'll know what the situation is at those
And we
tracks.
got 4 plate tracks.
I'm down
Yeah,
with that. That
yeah,
sounds good to me.
yeah, exactly. I mean, I'm cool with that as long as the other tracks it works like it's supposed to. Get a little spread out and race single file and figure out how to pass someone without dying. And especially I think this package came at a bad time, personally, with netcode issues and iRacing being more prevalent than ever, in my opinion. And with the side by side close racing,
So bad.
it's been bad, yeah. And I think a lot of our wrecks wouldn't have happened because of that. And that's something we just got to learn from each other. And I don't know, I'm excited. I was frustrated in the moment last Saturday, and after a fourth place finish, and that would be, I shouldn't be frustrated after fourth, which I wouldn't have been. But it's just frustrating that how the race played out, I guess, mostly. And we'll go and learn from it. But like I said, I think Bob, this is definitely going to help. Yourself, and I'm happy with that. So, are you excited for Texas?
I am. I'm going to take advantage of this while it plays to me as much as I can. And maybe last week was a fluke. You never know. I mean, everybody has their good and bad weekends, but I'm interested to see Texas. I can't wait to see Michigan. Pocono is going to be interesting. I mean, this package is going to run at Pocono
Yeah,
as well, isn't it?
yeah.
So, I mean, what's that going to do? That's going to be interesting, being big and flat. And
Indy.
Indy, I never really liked Indy the way it was before, even though I got kind of good at it. But I think Indy is going to be real interesting because that's long back stretches
Yep.
and crazy turns. So I think it's going to be a good year. I hope they don't do too much adjusting on it. I mean, we should be good for at least this build,
Yeah,
but we'll see if they make any changes going forward because I know they're going to want to try to mimic NASCAR as much as they can,
definitely.
and we're not quite there if that's the goal.
Well,
So
See, the weird thing is, I told you this, Zach, earlier. iRacing did have a patch today.
yep.
Um, and I was looking through, because you have to click the little red button that says, "Oh, you got updates," and then it lists all the cars and tracks that need updating. Well, there were several cars listed, um, and the B cars and the A cars were listed, for having updates. And while those are downloading, I go and look at the patch notes. And in the patch notes, it lists all the other cars that were there. It lists the B cars and what changes they did there, but it doesn't list the A car. So they made changes to it, but then didn't say what they were. So I there's no telling what they did to it.
Right. Yeah, that is interesting.
They weren't big updates, I don't think. I think they were just like a handful of kilobytes, but
Yeah, they definitely were. And the thing I'm thinking is, like, after the peak race at Auto Club last week, Steve Myers tweeted from iRacing that what a race that we put on and all this, and he was like, I think this is a better package than NASCAR in real life. We made a better one. So I don't know if they're going to tweak it because I think they really liked it. I know the peak drivers didn't really like it, but this is an entertainment sport. We do have to take that into account.
that's true.
Racing
yep.
should be racing, but at the end of the day, they need money to race, and without
Money comes from the
and
fans.
without fans to be there for the entertainment, then you don't really got nothing. So we got to try stuff. I think NASCAR's and iRacing, you know we're just trying new things. You never know. In a couple of years, we could be laughing about this right now. Like, you remember when we had 550 horsepower and tapered spacers, and downforce so we could drive on the track upside down.
And we
But
might be laughing saying, "Remember when we used to have internal combustion engines?"
right, we might have electrical engines by then. Now, you remember we have a hybrid, we have ERS, all this. We'll be F1.
We'll have a push to pass button.
Yeah,
I could use that.
that would be actually pretty nice. I ain't gonna lie. But
Yeah, it'd get me around y'all a lot quicker.
hey, I'll take it. Just I don't know. It's an interesting time right now in racing. Fortunately,
Everywhere. Not
we're here.
even just NASCAR and iRacing, but
Yeah, and
everywhere.
unfortunately, we can experience it. We have the blessing of iRacing, and I don't think they get enough praise sometimes for what they do. They get a lot of shit from people in the forums, and it's a business, so they got to make their money. So people complain about that, of course, but I still think, what else? What other game we gonna go do this on? Assetto
That's
Corsa?
true.
I mean,
I mean,
R
iRacing does
Factor
kind of have the monopoly
of online
uh,
racing for sure.
on, some massive online sim racing. Uh, a A lot of people do think R Factor may be a bit more realistic. I do think R Factor's tire models are better,
Yeah.
but it just does not have the fan base and the driving to be really big. And and you see that. I mean, iRacing, all of their Pro Series this year, all of the champions in total are going to be awarded $300,000.
Yeah.
And that doesn't happen because you're just some ordinary thing online. Um, iRacing it is already pretty big, and they're getting bigger. And was that Zach? I think you said you heard some peak drivers saying that they know some things and some
Yep.
really big things for next year, but they can't say what they are.
They said it's gonna
So
be lit.
it's gonna be lit.
And it is a great time right now. And any motorsports teams out there or esports teams looking for a great driver, contact Benjamin Nelson. So,
Yeah,
because that's my
and
next
that's
goal.
his YouTube and all that. You did mention earlier in there too, but that's spelled INTHERE number two and IT,
Yep.
and that's all one word. Um,
If
so
you
just in case you were wondering how to spell that, because it
i-
is a bit.
if you want to learn from an iRacer, that's the guy you want to learn
Yeah,
from. He's
I mean,
taught
I've learned
us a
from him.
lot.
Every time I talk to him, I learn something.
Yep. He's a smart kid too. So he we might even have him on here one day. He does race on Tuesday nights at Peak, but that's every other Tuesday. So one of these nights we might have a pro on here. Maybe one day Brian will be a pro.
Oh man.
Because I don't know about that.
we we only finished third in our first road to pro race in six split. Let's slow down a little
Let's
bit.
slow down.
Gotta have goals.
Gotta have goals. That's right, Bob. And just I don't know, good time to be on iRacing right now. Other motorsports news I could say, I guess, is Formula One kick back up. Me and Brian will probably get more into that next week. As they're off next week. They have 2 weeks till they race again, and yeah, our league comes to Martinsville. So are you guys ready for Martinsville this week?
um, I don't know.
That
Maybe depends.
It's Final Four week.
is Final Four week, guys. You can explain that, Bob, since you are actually the creator of March
Yeah.
Madness.
Yeah, so what we do is we mimic the bracket system used and popularized with the NCAA tournament. And we had a qualifying race, and we took the top 16 finishers of that race, and we placed them into the brackets 1 through 16, matched them up just like March Madness does with 16 against the number one, and then all the way through. And which race was that? Vegas.
Yeah, Las Vegas.
Las Vegas was a qualifier, and then we got into our matchups the following week.
Phoenix.
At Phoenix, yes. And that was an interesting race, kind of a lot like this past week with the cautions. We had some good runs, and then it broke down to the Elite Eight, and here we are at the Final Four. And I think one of the biggest things about the Final Four is you guys are both alive, but you're on opposite sides of the bracket, if I'm
Yep.
not mistaken.
Yep, we sure are.
So we have a chance of this playing down to you two at Texas.
I know.
And you know who just won or ran about 450 laps in the past 4 days at Texas?
Well, I got a couple hundred. Let's just say that. Okay, I
That's
did
true,
a lot
that's
of
true.
testing too, but no, I'm excited for this weekend. I'm facing Jeff Gilmore on my side of the bracket. Brian does have a really tough matchup, which not saying Jeff isn't,
Don't remind me.
but Brian's got to face Mr. Tommy Ryan, and that man's
He
bad
took
fast.
me down.
Yeah,
Yep.
he did take Bob down, didn't he? In the first round,
Yep.
right?
It's funny if you look at the bracket. He starts at the top, and you can see his number just slowly move towards the middle. And my number starts at the very bottom, and it
Yep.
just slowly moves up towards the middle. So
Zach juked his way in.
Yeah, I think my first matchup, I can't remember who it was. Wow. I can't remember who I faced the
See
first
if I can
matchup,
find
but
this real quick here.
I faced Chuck Sweeting in the next round at Auto Club this past week, and I got lucky personally in that because that guy is man Chuck is a great racer, and definitely got lucky to come out there with him behind me. And I think this weekend I'm pretty confident. I got Jeff Gilmore, but the only reason I'm confident is Do It To be in Martinsville. You know, I I set out a goal every time I go to that track to win it, and that's gonna be the goal. So I'm not gonna worry too much about the bracket. I love Martinsville too much to race like that, and I mean it could get me in trouble. You never know. I don't win a lot at Martinsville. I lead a lot of laps, so hopefully we can finish it off this week and be a winner. But yeah, I mean it's gonna be interesting. And then if I can face Tommy or Brian, if I make it past Jeff at Texas, oh man, that's gonna be tough too. So whoever wins the March Madness bracket at Racing Freaks is definitely earned it, and I can't wait because it's such a cool thing we do, and I love the idea that you came up with that, Bob, because it really adds to the races. It really
Yeah.
does.
Zach, you had the 18 the first week.
Oh yeah,
I
I beat
believe
Dustin German. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I like this, and I know in years past we've had a dash for cash. Being the way we have our league structured, where we take the 36 races, break it down into 3 seasons. It'd be nice if we could have something else each season like this, but different. So each thing can have their own flavor. But it's definitely something to think about.
Oh yeah, that's true. So first season we got March Madness. It
Yeah,
happens in March. Second season, what kind of big event could we kind of copy?
kind of I guess it'd be a summer event,
It'd be like
SummerSlam.
or something in the heat.
And then, because in the wintertime we have the Jingle Bell Bash.
Oh yeah,
Robert likes to call it the Jingle Ball Bash, which annoys me every time.
yeah. It's funny play on words, but
Yeah,
yeah, that was fun. That was
that
cool.
was fun.
Uh,
I think the
yeah,
events really draw out a lot of people. It's exciting. I know, the Freaky Fast broadcast makes it exciting. Being able to go back and watch them. That's probably the most special thing about being a driver is you see it from that perspective through the monitors or through the goggles, whether you're in VR or what have you. But then to go back and watch the broadcast like it was played out on TV, just adds a whole nother perspective to it.
yeah, it's really cool to see your name on the ticker or however they have it, and you see your car go around, and it's like, oh hey, that's me. I did that.
Yeah.
I guess Zach's still straightening up his dogs. He's got 2 pit bulls, tough to tame. Ooh, that could be an event. Too tough to tame.
There's a track that has that as a logo, isn't
So is that Oh man, that's gonna bother me now.
it? Not the, what's the one with the rock?
Tough to tame. Is it Dover?
Dover. That's what I was thinking of. Is it Dover? It might be
Uh,
Darlington.
What is it?
it
What are
is
y'all questioning?
Darlington.
Darlington. The slogan, too tough to tame.
Yeah, it's Darlington. Yeah.
That's what I thought.
That's for sure. We raced there.
In the K&N.
Yeah,
K&N,
Friday
yeah.
night K&N. God, that track beat me up.
He could have won. He didn't listen to me though. I told him to stay out the wall.
It's hard.
Yes.
That's walls like full of magnets.
It
Yeah,
is full of
exactly. It's got
magnets.
magnets in there.
I think you actually said that in your interview, didn't you, Brian?
I think so. Yeah.
That's pretty funny.
It does. I say that every time we go there
Yeah.
because it is. You hit the wall and you can't get off of it.
Yeah, that's for
It
sure.
slows you down tremendously, and all you want to do is pull off it, and the car doesn't.
Yeah. Well, sometimes when you pull out, you just can't.
The freaking innuendos in this podcast. I love them. But man, yeah, I mean, we got a lot of stuff coming up. So definitely check out our sponsor as they're in the chat too. Is the main man Robert. He's the owner of Racing Freaks that we race at. He also is the owner of Freaky Fast Broadcasting that sponsors this podcast. And you can check him out on Sunday nights at 9 or 8:50, sorry. Thursday nights at 8:50, and our league races start around 9:30 on Saturdays, and sometimes Fridays too. Fridays are every now and then. So check out Freaky Fast Broadcasting.
And
They
if you didn't catch last night's broadcast, we had a bit of an unusual thing
oh yeah,
with the league that we do on Sunday nights. They decided to do like a little demo derby thing, and what they were doing is uh, whoever won the race or whoever, because they eventually had to have that session be open to the public just to get the numbers up. And so whoever was the highest finisher that was actually part of that league earned themselves an EOL at Martinsville, which was unusual, but it was really cool because it was, it was 100 laps at Oxford in the street stocks, and no cautions, and pretty much anything goes. And to be quite honest, I was kind of maybe dreading doing
yeah,
that race because I wasn't quite sure how it was going to be, but I had a blast doing that thing. It was, kind of the big theme with that race was just kind of stress relief. I
yeah.
definitely got some stress relief from watching and broadcasting that race.
It
So
was
you should,
hilarious.
y'all go check that out.
Yeah, I think one night Race Freaks might have to do that.
Yeah, that was a good idea. I think we're gonna have to maybe take some notes off of that one.
Right? Well, really, it's personally pretty slow week. In
Yeah, we've
news for
talked more
everything.
about racing freaks and iRacing than we have actually
Yeah,
like
usually
other
it's a
sport.
whole NASCAR, pretty much hour, but
Ain't
we went
nothing
off on a
happened. Nobody
tangent.
got penalized.
Yeah, no. Well,
Nobody
Kyle Busch actually I think did have a lug nut penalty.
a lug nut penalty.
Yeah, so I believe he got fined. His
Ooh.
crew did because he didn't have tight lug nuts. But oh well, I know what we can talk about. Perfect. Here to end this out. Um. Okay, so we go to Martinsville in real life. Who we picking? We'll let since Bob is our special guest, we'll let Bob pick. Get first pick because I feel like first pick might be pretty important. So who do you think's taking home that grandfather clock this weekend, Bob? NASCAR.
So we're back on the normal package for
Yeah.
Martinsville. So the car should be like normal. I'm gonna go dark horse and go Chase Elliott. He's ran real good at Martinsville.
Yep.
He hasn't been able to close the deal. Usually late race accidents. But I'm rooting for the Chevys. I want to see someone in the Chevy pull it out.
Cool. Yeah, I agree there. I think Chase is a good pick. He's shown speed at Martinsville a lot, and as long as Denny Hamlin ain't behind him, I think he might win it.
Yeah.
So who you picking, Brian?
Man, I would really like to pick a Hendrick driver, and I really would like to see Hendrick do well. But seeing as how they struggle to make the top 10 every week, don't think I can pick them. Even though it is kind of an old, or we're going back to the old package, last year's package at Martinsville. Man, it's so tough. Um, Jeez. I gotta say Brad Keselowski, maybe.
Okay, that's a good pick, man. He runs good there. He really does.
Yeah, it does.
And who do you think I'm gonna pick?
Well, Bob picked Chase Elliott, so you can't choose him.
So who's that? Who am I picking? Can you tell me?
Uh, it's either gonna be Jimmy Johnson or Kyle Larson. Why did his name pop in my head?
Well, you're close. Kyle Busch.
Oh, oh
Yes,
yeah, that
sir.
was yeah. Well,
Kyle Busch is going 3 in a row. He's
I think
gonna.
so.
Yep. Kyle Busch is he's a
Gonna
tough
get
one at Martinsville,
201.
man. Let me tell you. I've been watching him every time we go there, and he gets better, better, better at that paperclip. And he's gonna take him a grandfather clock. I think that's who I'm picking.
Has he won there before?
I believe so. Yeah, I think he's got 2. I know he's won one before because my brother, got to watch that, so I remember that one.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah, I was there when he won. That was a
yeah.
stupid question.
Now, I think a dark horse people can put out there is Clint Boyer.
Oh
Clint Boyer is a
yeah,
great
he did
Martinsville
win
track
the
racer.
last spring race.
Yep. Joe Logano. So if you're out there betting people on DraftKings or FanDuel, look for Joe Logano. Martin Truex Jr. ran really good. Remember, we got to watch that last year.
Yeah.
Where Joe Logano and him had his little tuffle. And Robert saying Newman out there in the chat. I don't
Yeah,
know.
he is hard to pass.
He's hard to pass, but I don't know if he's gonna be able to pass all the other people. I mean, Ryan Newman's definitely won. He's won at Martinsville for us, so
He could definitely change the outcome.
yeah, that's for damn
He's
sure.
a tough lap car to get around.
And yeah, I think Martinsville will be interesting. There's not really another track like it. I guess New Hampshire's a scaled up Martinsville, but it'll be interesting to see who comes out here with the win this weekend. I love Martinsville. Unfortunately, not going this weekend, breaking my in a row record.
Me too.
Yeah, but
It's all your fault.
we'll be there in the fall. Don't worry about that. We'll be there in the fall. The chase race is always wild. I'm gonna go ride ATVs this weekend with my fam,
Hell
have some
yeah.
fun. So unfortunately, no Martinsville this weekend for Zach, but
No hot dogs.
it'll be fun to watch on TV though. Again, I haven't watched a Martinsville TV
That's true.
race in a long time, so it'll be interesting to get that perspective and hear Jeff Gordon talk about Martinsville because I'm sure he'll have some great insight because that man is a killer at Martinsville. I can tell you that much. And we can also see, Jimmy Johnson. I want to see how Jimmy Johnson does.
Does well.
Like he could
He needs one more
possibly.
win to tie Darrell Waltrip.
Oh wow! And if he did it at Martinsville, that'd be cool because Daryl's a man at Martinsville
yeah.
too. So it'll be interesting. I really think I know Blaney ran good there actually too last year.
Yeah, that's right. He led some laps, I think.
Yeah, he won a stage I think too. So gonna be interesting. Martinsville always throws in it could either be boring. Like I ain't gonna lie, the spring race we went to last year was kind of boring.
Well,
But
it was delayed a day.
yeah, that's true. It snowed.
Snow.
Yeah, it snowed on the way up there. It was pretty fun getting drunk, but it was a pretty boring race to watch. But Martinsville always throws in something you never know to expect. So I can't wait. I always love that race. So we'll have to see how that goes Sunday. But I don't think any other major series is racing this week.
No, when does IndyCar start up?
IndyCar, they already started. They raced at St. Petersburg last week, I think. And
where?
St. Petersburg. It's in Florida.
Yeah.
It's actually like a street circuit, and Joseph Newgarden won that race. So Penske are dominating that. Will Power, I believe, was the pole setter. So Penske looking good. I know that they have a new driver in the IndyCar who came from Formula E, and not many people know about him. I do I've watched him in junior series of like Formula like 2 and stuff like that, and his name is Felix Rosenquist. Very good driver.
Rosenquist.
Yeah, I believe he's a Finnish guy. I may be wrong about that, so don't quote me on that, but I think he's a Finn, and we've seen Valtteri Bottas, the flying Finn I'd like to call him now, so winning F1 in Mercedes, take him the 1-2 this weekend in F1.
He only won by, 26 seconds?
Actually, it was 22 at the end, but
22.
Yeah, it's traffic due to traffic, but yeah, I mean, a lot of stuff going on, but really ain't much else to talk about unless you guys got some.
Yeah, you got something, Bobby? I feel like you ain't talked too much.
I know,
I'm looking forward to Indy.
Yeah.
I can't wait for the Indy 500. That's been a fun race to run.
Yep.
I definitely want to get more of an Indy style wheel to go to my collection, but yeah, definitely looking for the Indy 500 this year, and the Coke 600. I don't know why that race has always intrigued me. The amount of laps that's involved in it. So that's a lot of fun. And the plate races, I can't wait to see how is the tapered spacer going to react in plate racing. you
Yeah.
know, we've seen our last restrictor plate race.
Yep. Daytona.
So we have a new era to begin at Talladega. And I got to see the track the other day, not long ago. I drove past Talladega.
Nice.
Oh,
So I was bouncing around between Birmingham and Atlanta. I almost went. There was a site in the parking lot of Atlanta I almost got to go to. So I have been running around seeing some of the southern motorsports places.
Nice. Well, I know that Brad Kozlowski said he thinks that tandem drafting is coming back. So Talladega will be one to watch. Definitely, because you reminded me about that, Bob. I forgot we're first race taper spacer at a at plate track. So
Yeah.
very interesting. We'll see how it changes it up. We'll definitely have to see how that changes it up. And that's not too far away. Also with the Coke 600 thing you were saying, Bob, this will be the first one at iRacing that we had the transition with daytime. So
Yeah. That's
on
That's
gonna
the
be
cool.
awesome.
on the new Charlotte too,
yep, on the
Yeah.
new Charlotte. Yep,
with the
lots of new
blue
things.
lines, because they only, they scan the track once and they get, they can't change
Yeah, the
the
assets.
the colors, yeah, the assets for the track depending on whether it's a spring race or the roval or whatever. So
Yeah,
it's kind of odd in iRacing to
have blue walls.
go around the oval with the roval colors everywhere.
Yeah, I'm excited for that one. I actually have never ran a Coke 600 in iRacing, and I will this year. I can tell you that much. So
Yeah, me too.
I
So will the walls change colors for the spring races?
no,
Okay,
they'll
so
be
we'll still
blue.
have the regular.
Yeah,
The rest of it's really amazing to me to finally get to drive around with more of the current scenery
yeah.
and all that. You know, Charlotte and Daytona
Oh yeah,
has
Daytona
been
looks so
amazing.
Yeah,
beautiful now.
Daytona. I still haven't checked that out.
Man, it's awesome.
You
The
know, and not
grandstands.
long ago we just got Michigan and
Yep,
Pocono. You know, it's you kind of look back at it; they've really been working
they're
hard. We've
churning
got
them
some
out
really,
faster, in my opinion.
yeah, and I'm excited to get a new Phoenix. I know that has to be
Oh yes,
Yeah,
you
that's
know,
got to be
because
the next one.
Phoenix just
Texas.
changed.
Gotta
Yep,
get Texas.
Texas. It'd be nice to see Rockingham come back.
Yeah,
They're yeah, they're working on it.
yeah. Like we talked last week in the podcast, they definitely got some stuff coming to Martinsville or Martinsville, Rockingham, and that'll be interesting. Especially, I mean, maybe we can get the National Fairgrounds since NASCAR's talking about that, and I don't know,
Yeah, that
just
seems like a bigger topic in NASCAR than
yeah.
Rockingham.
Oh, it is. No, National Fairgrounds is a real deal, man. I think that's coming back.
And Dale Jr. I was listening to his podcast, and he's actually kind of disappointed that everybody's kind of focused only on Nashville. He thinks that Nashville and Rockingham kind of go hand in hand, along with North Wilkesboro.
Yep.
So I really hope. I think all three of those tracks deserve some renovation and some races to be having over there. And I think definitely if they go to North Wilkesboro or Rockingham, I gotta go because uh, I know as a kid, when we would take vacations to the mountains, we'd drive by North Wilkesboro all the time, and so I see it, and I've watched old races there, and it's like, man, I'd love to go to a race there.
Yeah, man. I same. I really want to experience that too, as being a North Carolinian, and yeah. I mean, we
It's in the
got
mountains; it's beautiful.
yeah, right. Except Cabin. Oh, we had to talk
Yeah,
about that.
Zach
I'm
has
scared.
a phobia of cabins.
Yeah, I scared that the guy somebody's gonna come out in the woods and try to kill us all.
Yeah, watched too
I
many
watched
horror
too many
movies as a
movies.
kid.
Yeah. But on to the new stuff is I want to thank first of all, man. This was our most watched podcast live, especially. You can always go back and watch them after and get the whole thing. And but man, we had at 1.7 people watching, guys. So
Hell yeah.
one of the
Nice.
best ones we had all year so far. And I really want to thank you, Bob, for coming on. I know me and Brian talk a lot, but especially me. So I'm glad we could get your input in, for what we did. And yeah, just really happy day. We had a great race tonight. And man, I want to thank everybody for coming out. And thank you, Bob, because couldn't had a great podcast like this without you, man.
Yeah, I appreciate you fellas having me out. This is a lot of fun. Hope we get to do it again.
Yeah, for
And
sure.
thanks for all the
Definitely.
viewers tuning in and listen to us ramble for all this time
Right? Yeah.
about fun stuff.
Also, Bob, if you would like to tell the people out there where they can catch you, because I know you got a YouTube channel where you stream.
Yeah, I stream on YouTube and Twitch. It's Spin Dizzy, SPINDIZEE. Uh, you get to hear a lot of these guys in the background too, because we race together a lot, and I just originally started streaming just to be able to go back and see so many wild things happen during races, whether it's wrecks or situations or fuel mileage, and then I'm not trying to do it nothing professional, but it's fun. It's a good time. It's a lot of it's hanging out with you guys. It makes it interesting, in the races. So I appreciate you having me out tonight. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, man. Thank you, Bob, for coming out. And anything else you want to add into it, Brian, before we wrap up?
Nah, I think we're good.
Yep. So
Actually, for once, I don't have anything to say.
that's good. Well, I want to thank everybody for tuning in. Like Bob said, listen to us ramble for this hour and 5 minutes now we're going on. So, yeah, it's really, I really appreciate the love tonight from everybody. And we will see y'all next week for episode 5 after Martinsville. And sure that'll be a wild one. Noah, I don't know if we're having a special guest next week or what, but we will keep you updated on our Facebook page. You can check us out there as the Dirty Air Podcast. And on YouTube here is Dirty Air. So check us out wherever you want. But thank you for tuning in, and everybody have a great night. Peace out.